When it comes to doubling your income, Canadian author Robin S. Sharma once said, "To double your income, triple your investment in self-development." I'm not sure how many of you know this, but I still work a 9-to-5 job. I work in information technology by day, and I make personal finance videos and blogs by night. I love the work that I do. I work for a great company, and I have an amazing team. My management is great, just in case he's listening. He's a subscriber. I even received an award recently at work. I was taking a look through this pay period's check, and something dawned on me. Not to brag, but the paycheck was a little larger than it had been in previous years. Not only that, but things I've done outside of work have led to January being my most financially successful month in my professional life so far. As you might suspect, due to the nature of my channel, I maintain a budget and try to minimize my expenses as much as possible. As a quick reminder, I'd like to see you invest in the channel by clicking the like button and helping me reach my goal of 50 likes. Also, if you're enjoying my content, consider subscribing so I can help you with personal finance and economic concepts every week. Subscribing is free, and you can always unsubscribe later. As I was getting ready to make this month's budget, I went back to my budgeting software and noticed a budget from November 2017. I decided to take a trip down memory lane and took a look at the old budget. Man, what a difference 3 years can make. I was still working in IT during that time for an employer of similar size and reputation. I was working in a job I didn't really like for management I didn't really trust. My hours were long, my commute was far, and my expenses were high. Things just weren't looking up for me. Fast forward to 2021 and I've managed to double my net income since 2017. Some of you may be thinking that's not a big deal, but I beg to differ. It takes most people 5 or even 10 years to double their income. But I've found a sustainable way to do this in almost half the time. So how did I get from this place of relative lack to abundance? Did I do multi-level marketing? Did I find a 4-leaf clover? Did I work a part-time job? What did I do to double my net income in 3 years? Well, sit tight because I'm about to tell you. Now pay attention to what I didn't say. I didn't say I doubled my salary in 3 years. I doubled my net income. Personal net income is your income minus taxes and deductions. This is where the importance of financial literacy comes into play. While a person may make $100,000 per year, depending on what state and local taxes he or she pays and what income deductions they account for, he or she might actually have a net income of $65,000 per year. That'll be important later on. Sources of extra income. The first source of extra income, determination. The very first thing I did was recognize that I was capable of making more than I was earning. It's a bit deeper than simply wanting to earn more money. I was determined that I was willing to give the best work I was capable of. More than this, I decided I was willing to give more than a token effort toward my goals. I was willing to apply myself. I did this by finding ways I can increase my value at work. I thought of different things I can do outside of my job duties, but still within the scope of my career development, and asked my management if I can take on these extra tasks. In many cases, your management will be happy to let you take on extra tasks as long as it doesn't interfere with your main role at work. This often means that they will give you assignments that they were responsible for, but may not have the time to do. Your determination may very well make your manager's life a bit easier, and that's a good thing. In my particular case, this step was accountable for 15% of my total increase. The second source of extra income, learn more to earn more. Taking on extra assignments may get you noticed by your management. In time, they may be willing to consider you for promotion. But many companies may ask that you meet certain educational requirements to be considered for promotion. Some may require college degrees. Others may ask you to take training or gain a certification. The latter two are the most prevalent requirement for promotion in IT in my experience. Many promotions often require that you either take and pass a series of company-specific training or you gain a notable certification. Some companies may pay you for your training and continue to pay you while you attend certification courses. Others may require you to gain certification on your own time and with your own money. Don't be afraid of either option. If you're asked to pay out of pocket to take a certification class and test, do it. Make sure that you take all the free training you can before going to the certification course. For example, I saw that I needed to become Security Plus certified in order to advance my career. I studied on my own for a few months before asking my manager if I can use the project's training budget to get certified. He told me that it wasn't necessary for my development, and if I wanted to take the training, I'd have to use paid time off hours and pay for it out of my own pocket. I agreed to do so. The training exam cost over $2,500, but I was willing to pay. It was an investment in my career that paid handsomely, earning me another 20% over where I was in 2017. Third extra source of income, confidence. You may have sharpened your focus and taken extra assignments at work. You may have increased your education through company training and certification courses. You may have even gone the extra mile and gotten a degree. But sometimes those things don't matter in the workplace. You may approach your manager with a list of your accomplishments and still be passed over for a raise or a promotion. Maybe the company suffered a bad financial quarter. Maybe there's no position to promote you to. Or maybe you're just not the person they want to promote. In your manager's eyes, you just don't have it. That's fine. At that point, you have two options. Either you can stay at the job, keep doing what you're doing, and hope someone recognizes your efforts, or you can start looking for a new job somewhere where the management sees your value. Or you can start your own business, but that's a different conversation. Don't feel bad about looking for a new job. CareerBuilder.com says that only 54% of employees feel as though their job is loyal to them. Additionally, the average pay raise in the United States is 3%. This may contribute to the idea of people needing to leave a job to find a significant pay increase. For example, once I completed several trainings, a certification, and a master's degree, I asked my project manager for a raise. He told me there was no room in the budget for that. It was fine. I took that opportunity to update my resume and my LinkedIn page. I have recruiters calling me in short order and an interview lined up within a few days. I accepted an offer from my current employer shortly thereafter. That move accounted for another 30% of my total increase. Fourth source of extra income, adjust your tax withholdings. Yahoo Finance says that about 3 out of 4 Americans receive a tax refund. Yahoo goes on to say that the average tax refund in the United States is $3,000 according to the IRS. Many Americans are happy when they file their taxes because they can expect a big refund. But what if I told you you shouldn't be happy about that? Imagine if you go to the supermarket regularly. You pay your grocery bill, but you fail to notice that you've overpaid. You overpay each and every time you go to the grocery store, and you don't notice until one day at the end of the year, the store manager gives you a check for your overpayment. How would you feel about that? Some may be upset that the store manager had their money all year and didn't bother to say anything. They'll be upset, but do nothing about it. Some may be happy that the store manager gave them back their money at all. The majority of Americans fit into the latter category. They're happy to receive what they consider to be extra money. Many Americans fit into the first category. They're upset that the store manager kept their money all year, but they won't do anything about it. I'm none of the above. I used to be happy to receive a refund like most people. Then I realized that the refund means that the government was borrowing my money without paying me interest. So I decided to do something about it. One day, a friend of mine informed me that the IRS has a free tool that you can use to adjust your tax withholding and estimate what you'd like your new tax refund to be. I'm not necessarily encouraging you to use this tool. However, I will say that this tool is user-friendly and gave me a 6% increase in my net income. All you need to have are your previous year's W-2 form and a pay stub from this year. Tell the website your filing status, number of dependents, your income, and some information about your job. The site will use the data you entered to estimate how much you should be receiving as a refund. You'll then have the option to adjust your refund in $200 increments. Once you tell the site the approximate refund you'd like to receive at the end of the tax year, the IRS will give you the option to download a pre-filled W-4 form. All you have to do is submit this information to your employer, and you can expect to see an adjustment in your net income in the near future. I would warn you not to reduce your tax withholding by so much that you owe money at the end of the tax year. You should be sure to leave a buffer so you still get a little money back. The fifth source of extra income: learn to see and take opportunities. There may be some of us who have unique opportunities that may allow us to have a higher net income than others. This is nothing to be ashamed or jealous of. For example, I've engaged in a few side hustles over the years where I've made some extra money. I've done eBay dropshipping, I've had several online stores, I've done gigs on Fiverr, and I currently blog. If I had to guess, I'd say I made about $5,000 over the past 3 years doing these different side hustles. However, none of the money I made was consistent enough to add into my metrics. If you have the opportunity to do a side hustle, I suggest you take it. Perhaps it'll work out and become a steady source of income for you. Perhaps it won't. But you'll never know if you don't take action. I recently had the opportunity to claim benefits that I was owed. I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and though I didn't serve in combat, I suffered certain injuries over the course of my enlistment. Those injuries are considered service-connected, and I rate a certain amount of compensation for them. Service-connected disability accounts for about 35% of my total increase over the past 3 years. Additionally, it's possible you have the opportunity to increase your net income by simply moving to another state. In fact, many of you are already taking advantage of the differences in state taxes across the country. You may have seen videos about famous YouTubers like Graham Stephan moving from Los Angeles to Las Vegas to save money. States like Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming have 0% income tax. So assuming you were able to find a job with similar pay, a person moving from California with a state tax of 12.3% or 13.3% if you make over $1 million, to Florida would increase his or her net income by 12.3%. I've managed to double my net income over the past 3 years, and it's my sincere wish for you to do the same. You should do all that is within your power to make this happen. This is why financial literacy is so important. Be determined and intentional with earning more money. Increase your knowledge. The more you learn, the more you earn. Know your worth. If an employer is unable or unwilling to give you what you deserve, it's in your best interest to seek an employer who will. Adjust your tax withholdings. There's no reason to give Uncle Sam an interest-free loan. And last, learn to see and take opportunities. If you're a YouTuber or are considering starting a YouTube channel and you like my editing style, click the link in the description to get a free trial of my software. Make sure you join the discussion for a chance to have your comment featured. I read and reply to all the comments I get. Check out the videos on your screen on how to improve your finances. If you like this video, hit the like button. It helps out a lot. Be sure to subscribe and share the video with your friends. Check the links in the description for offer information. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.